Okay, so this has to be the messiest episode of Love and Hip Hop, and this has to be the best episode of season 3 right about now. Let's just say that pretty much. So let me just get into the review right now. I got my notes on my phone, and I'm just gonna go ahead and stick right on to it. Okay, so I'm gonna start this video off with Stevie J, Benzino, Althea, and Jocelyn going to this whole building that Stevie J and Benzino was going to use for this new bistro and, you know, restaurant situation they trying to do. And in a conversation between Jocelyn and Althea pretty much reveals to Jocelyn that she used to fuck around with Nico. And my thing about Jocelyn is she's such a fucking hypocrite because she's so quick to call everybody a hoe in the slut bucket when her whole claim to fame is being a hoe in the slut bucket. I mean, that's just like calling the tea kettle a fucking sponge. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you to sit up here and call somebody a hoe because they got a pass for somebody? Everybody got a fucking pass and they shouldn't be judged on it. And you, on the other hand, don't want to be known as a side chick anymore when that is your claim to fame. So you can't be going around here passing judgment on another motherfucker because they may have spread their legs open for the right dick. You can't do that because you did the same thing. So get it right. Okay, so we get into the scene with Deb, Anthony, Tammy, and Waka Flocka. And I didn't quite know what to expect from this scene, but this is a scene basically that was filmed shortly after the suicide of Waka Flocka Flame's brother, K.O. Red. And that was a pretty touching scene. That was probably one of the most sentimental moments I have ever seen on both Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and New York. That was probably one of the most sentimental moments I've ever seen on the Love and Hip Hop franchise. And you can tell that this was some real shit. You know, everything else that we see on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, we always say that it's scripted or it was staged or it was manufactured. But this shit right here, it touched me to the motherfucking core. You could feel what Deb was coming from. You could feel the emotion. You could feel her hurt. You could see her hurt. When she was in the confessional talking about her son, you can tell that she missed her son, that she loved her son, and that she was hurt that her son committed suicide. And that was just a horrific thing to ever deal with. The scene, the lighting, the rain, the storm, everything about it was just too much. You know what I'm saying? And you could just feel the emotion. You can tell that they were going through a very difficult time. And Waka didn't even want to talk about the shit. He walked off and he started crying, and that just gutted at my soul when he did that, because I don't like seeing people cry because I don't even like to cry. But that was a lot to see. You know what I'm saying? That was really a lot to see. And then, you know, later on in the show, Tammy and Deb Anthony was on the radio, and they talked about a little thing called RIP. I forgot what it was called, but it's pretty much about, you know, internet posting and how, I think it's called reckless internet posting, I think, and they want to fight against that internet bullying. And the result of K.O. Red's suicide was due to the internet bullying and everything like that. And I can say that with me being on YouTube and the way that I go in on celebrities and shit, this of what I'm doing could be considered a form of internet bullying. It's not intentional because I'm giving my opinion, but you know, you never know who's watching the videos. You never really know. You never know if any of these reality stars are sitting up here watching me or Justin J or you know, the Ghetto View or Jamar or any of us. You never really know that, and we never know what our opinions of them, how they affect them, because we don't know them personally, and we just out here, you know, they put their lives out there on display for all of us to comment on, and we comment on them. Sometimes our comments can be a little bit too harsh, and you know, it made me think about things a little bit. Now, I'm not gonna sit up here and be a hypocrite and say, oh, the next video I'm not gonna do no bashing, because if a bitch do something stupid, then I'm gonna call them out on it. But I really do get this whole thing, and I do feel like some of what we do is a form of internet bullying in a way. Kirk invites Carly to the grand opening. He appears to be Team Carly and Benzino. That's what team he seems to be on. Carly and Benzino, pretty much. And my whole thing about that is, I felt like he was being a messy ass nigga by even inviting her to the grand opening. Like, what was his point of even meeting up with Carly to do that? I just feel like that's some shit that Mona Scott threw in and say, okay, I'm gonna need you to invite this bitch to the party so she can stir up controversy. And that's exactly what happened. So we get into the party. And my thing about this is I do not like this whole friendship between Carly Red and Erica. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really feeling that friendship. I'm not digging it at all. When did they become so close and all of that stuff? When? I don't know, but whatever. So they walk in and immediately shit get popping. Althea and Carly are introduced to each other. And I will say that Carly and Althea were both being messy. It's not that Carly was being messy or Althea was being messy, but Carly was taking her jabs too. And you know what I'm saying? She was like, I have every number, every number. That was a jab. You didn't even have to say that shit, but you said it anyway. And then that's when Althea was like, what is this about you saying you missing a dick? And then it turns out that Kirk told Benzino after his conversation with Carly that Carly was missing a dick. And then when he was called up to confront the situation, he basically said that Carly wanted to be in Benzino's presence again. And that's far from missing the dick. You know what I'm saying? That's not what she said. But I do feel like Althea and Carly were both being messy as fuck. And then Althea threw the drink on Carly, and Carly threw the drink at Althea, and then Benzino asked Carly to get the fuck out of the club. And then that's when Erica asked, turned around and say, who you calling a bitch? And I'm sitting up here like, he wasn't even talking to you. You wasn't even relevant to the situation. So why is you popping off? And then she tries to run up and say, who you calling a bitch and all this shit. Then Althea throws a drink on Erica, and Erica tries to run up, and I'm still sitting up here like, Erica, you didn't even have to put yourself in a crossfire like that. Like, what the fuck did it have to do with you? Because I clearly see and hear Benzino saying, escort that bitch out the club, talking about Carly, not you. Where the fuck you get that from? So then we get into Scrappy and Bambi. Bambi and Scrappy pretty much break up because Scrappy is talking about how Bambi wants to move too fast. And yes, Bambi is moving too fast because she's the one that got the deep feelings and Scrappy is the one that doesn't have them. However, it's not all about Bambi and her feelings. It's about your mama being involved. And that is why you and Erica ain't together right now, because of the simple fact that you constantly allowed her to get in your space and you constantly allowed her to get in your business and fuck up your relationships. That's why you're in a predicament that you're in right now with Erica. Let's just keep it 100. And I'm glad that Bambi got up and walked off from your ass, because as much as I love Scrappy, and I keep saying I like Scrappy, he's probably my most favorite male person on the show. However, he got fucked up ways of handling situations. He don't know how to handle shit. He don't know how to love no woman. He can say that he loves somebody, but he just don't know how to love them or show them that he loves them. And I think that's a huge problem, and it comes from Mama D in the way that he was raised. That's how I feel. So we get into Mimi and Nico's anniversary party, and the topic of discussion is Althea. Benzino couldn't come to the party. Well, Benzino didn't want to come to the party because he don't fuck with Mimi nor Nico. Althea said that she ain't got nothing to hide and that she wanted to have a good time. Now, I do kind of feel Althea on what she was saying when she said, well, I had to deal with Carly, so why can't you deal with Nico? That's true. She did have to deal with your ex coming to your party, so why can't you do the same thing for her? But I kind of get what he's saying as well. So the topic of discussion is Althea. Nico starts talking about Althea fucking him, fucking Stevie, and Benzino. And then Mimi starts telling Erica that she actually seen Althea half naked and half dressed at Stevie's house. So my whole thing about that is crazy. So then, you know, here go Erica, wait till I tell Carly. Is it just me, or is it because Erica's relationship with O'Shea and her fashion line is not getting in much? You know, every time she got to be a messy ass bitch. It used to be Carly being a messy sidekick. Now Erica has taken the approach of being a messy sidekick. Like, what's up with that shit? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. Mimi said that Althea was making her rounds and everything like that. So then Carly, Red, and Jocelyn reconnect and they talk about what happened. Now, Jocelyn kills me talking about how she a real bitch, but yet she playing both sides between Carly and Althea. Now when she get with Carly, she want to talk about how Althea is a hoe and how she heard that she get around, but we all know that you get around, so how can you come for another person for getting around? But whatever. So you know what I'm saying? They start talking about niggas and shit and talking about how they don't trust them and how Carly found out that Young Jock was fucking around on her by leaving her phone in the car. It was just really crazy to me. And then, you know, You know, she was saying that she got to watch that hoe out there and all of that stuff. Stop calling people hoes when you a hoe yourself. You came to the game as a hoe. Shut up. So then the last scene of the episode was basically when Jocelyn and Stevie J was at the restaurant, and after her conversation with Carly, and she pretty much said that she don't think that she won a wedding because of the way that he's been treating her and the things that she been finding in his phone. Then she also said that she never had him. But let me tell you something, Jocelyn. The way that you got him will be the way that you fucking lose him. You stole him from somebody else, and now that you get with him, he's treating you the same way that Mimi did. The same way that he treated Mimi, he doing you the same fucking way, and you sit up here and swore up and down that you would never be like Mimi, and you would never be in her position, but you are in her position, and now you're insecure as fuck. You showed your insecurity last season with the Shay Max situation. Now you're showing your insecurity now by going through a motherfucking phone. And then another thing about Jocelyn is she just lives her life based on the fact that I'm a bad bitch. I'm a bad bitch. You can be a bad bitch all day. But being a bad bitch is not gonna make your life any better, and being a bad bitch is not gonna make no man take you seriously. There's a lot of bad bitches that I know that live in the same city as I do. There's a lot of them that's bad bitches, and all they ever do is get their ass on Instagram flexing and, you know, taking pictures with their ass poked out and taking pictures with their lips poked out and talking about how they a bad bitch and wear a bomb ass outfit. Yeah, you are cute. Yeah, you sexy. Yeah, you a bad bitch. But these niggas ain't taking your ass seriously. Cause you saying I'm a bad bitch. That's all they see. I got a bad bitch. They ain't seeing the fact that they got a woman. They got a bad bitch. And they ain't taking your ass seriously. Why? You a bad bitch. They might get with your ass, but they ain't taking you seriously. They still gonna fuck around. You know how many bad bitches out here that still getting cheated on and still getting fucked around? So remember that shit, Jocelyn. You 27, I'm 25, and you should know the situation. So with that being said, I'm out of here, you guys. Peace.